Welcome to Makin Music. I'll tell you today we have a very interesting show brought to you by Guitar Showcase and Monster Cable. With me today I have Rich Kazanjian, Kaz,
that's right,
AKA, and you're from Monster Power, Monster Cable.
That's right.
Okay, tell us what it is that your products do. Now, before you do that, let me preface this. We did a show a few weeks ago or a month or two ago about Monster Cable, connecting instruments to amplifiers, connecting outboard effects processors, mixers, that sort of thing in studios. Today we want to talk about Monster Power. Okay, so tell me what it is that Monster does, devices like this that, you know, looks pretty cool too, I might add.
Well, Monster's been in the cable business, the high-performance audio, video, speaker cable business for almost 30 years now, and a little over 10 years ago we got into the power business because it seemed to us that one of the ways to make all of the outboard gear that we were using perform a lot better was to have a stable power floor. And one of the ways to do that was to create clean power filtering devices which also help isolate the power products from one another, and also provide a high level of protection from surges and spikes and naturally occurring waves that take place in the power that comes out of our wall.
Right. So these devices come in a myriad of sizes and shapes. So for instance, for a studio, you have a big rack-mounted unit?
Yes, absolutely we do. It's called the AVS 2000, which stands for the Automatic Voltage Stabilizer. That product, we have a few slides for it somewhere, and basically to give you in a nutshell what the AVS 2000 does, it provides us straight 120 volts. As you know, all the products that we have here in the United States are built and designed to run on 120 volts.
Exactly.
And often the power company that we have in this area is PG&E. They do their best to provide us as consistent a 120 as possible. But often it fluctuates between about 114 and as high as 126. And what that means is that we're overvolting or undervolting our products, which means they're either starved for power or they're getting way too much power, so we run the risk of burning them out. And what that means is that all the products that we use, whether it be a guitar amplifier or an effects processor or even our television or any of the other products we have in our home, are more susceptible to lower lifespan. Maybe they don't perform as well throughout their life also. And they're more prone to blowing up or having some sort of catastrophic failure in the event that there's a massive power spike.
Performance in our industry is the key issue.
Yes.
So I spend thousands of dollars on a guitar amplifier.
Yeah. And you want it to perform well.
I want to get my money's worth out of it.
Absolutely.
So if I just plug it into the wall, first of all, let's talk about that, because most power amplifiers, guitar amplifiers, any kind of a processor nowadays has a little cable similar to this, but very, very tiny, that
often about 2/3 the size, if not half the size of that.
Plugs into the back of the device, and then of course this will go into the wall. Okay, the problem, first of all, we're starving our product before we start, and there's a reason. I have a catalog. These things cost about 80 cents when you buy them in bulk.
Yeah.
The kind that you get with your computer.
The ones that they give away.
The ones they give away with the product.
Those are essentially the equivalent of the spare donut tire on your vehicle. They're built to test, to make sure that the unit powers on or off, but they're not really built to perform and to go to 3 hours of a gig.
We're not going to drive to LA from San Jose on that little spare tire.
That's right.
Okay, now Monster starts here, really, because we have this size, which is 4 or 5 times bigger than the one that comes with the unit.
Absolutely.
And then you have one that actually has this size cable. I mean, I don't know if we can see this or not, but this is approaching a 1/2 inch thick, and
then we have a size larger up than that.
Larger than this, yeah. Okay.
Which for each of the connectors, positive, negative, and ground, you can get up to 12 gauge.
Full 12 gauge.
On each one.
And average is 16 or 18 gauge.
If that.
And just so that everybody knows that as we go smaller in the number, the size of the wire is bigger, and that's a little bit.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive.
A little bit confusing.
Yeah,
right. It
but essentially it works like this. Each power product that you're going to plug in, an amplifier or whatever, it runs off of AC power. And what you want to do is make sure that you get the most current to it all the time so that the actual unit will run the way it's supposed to run.
Absolutely.
And I look at it like this. If your house was on fire, would you rather have someone come to try and put it out with a garden hose or a fire hose?
Right. We want the big one.
We want the big one.
Lots
We
of
want
water.
as much as possible.
Exactly. So
And-
we start there.
Yeah.
And then we have, at least we know we want to go from the wall to the unit with as much absolute capacity, okay, as we can.
Then once we get there, we
Okay.
have to protect the unit and make sure that it's operating at peak efficiency. And we do that with pieces like this. This particular product is called the Pro 2000, and it's a floor-mounted unit. The cool thing about it is that it's made of airplane-grade aluminum. It also has hard rubber ends, which I've actually thrown this around for 4 days straight at a major trade show that we both went to.
Right.
And all of the outlets are spaced far enough away so that you can have like a wall wart, which is those large plugs.
Absolutely.
It also has a great on-off switch. It has LED readouts. As you can see, this will tell you right now that the power coming out of the wall is 117, which is 3
Not
lower.
too bad, but
which is
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But you're getting a little bit of an undervolt. And this will also let you know how much current you still have left to draw from.
In
So in other
amperage.
words, in amperage, or how much you're pulling right now.
Right.
So in other words, if we start plugging products in, you will see this number increase, which means that you have up to 15 amps to pull off of here, which is what we all run
A
on.
normal circuit.
This will also tell you whether the ground you're plugging into is okay.
That's that first green light.
Yep, and whether your protection is on and whether any of the wiring is reversed.
So if that red light were on, we would have an issue with reverse polarity or something?
You got it. And where that begins to be important is when you're rehearsing in a studio or when you're playing out live. You really never know what you're plugging into. But with this, you not only get good clean power, but you get protection, and you also have a sort of an early warning signal which lets you know, okay, something might be going on with the wiring here, so I may need to check another plug or
Okay.
switch my plug around. There's a whole lot of things that you can do with this particular
Now,
product.
on the bottom down there, you've got some Cat 5 cable.
Yes, this particular product is perfect for the customer or for the end user who has a home studio and may not have a rack. So you can actually plug in RJ45 connectors for your internet or phone, and you could also do F-pin connectors. So if you have cable, you can run that through here, and it'll clean and protect that also.
It cleans and protects it.
You got it.
Okay, now that's amazing because it's all built right in. You have different color-coded sections on this. I see 4 different distinct areas here. Talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about what clean power does in order to really explain this. Clean power basically means that the power coming out of your wall is dirty and we need to clean it up. I'll give you a great example. Let's say you're watching television some afternoon and someone turns on a vacuum cleaner. What happens to the screen? It gets fuzzy, right? That's called shared component noise. That means that the actual motor inside the vacuum cleaner is kicking back a signature saying, okay, I'm running, and that signature is now affecting all the other products in the general vicinity or on that particular circuit. Now that same phenomenon is happening not only in your home or in your studio, but in your block, in the city, and then compound that by the state, maybe the entire country, because we live in a nationwide shared grid. So by the time that energy comes out of the wall, it's very dirty and it needs to get cleaned. And now we also need to protect from one another. So let's say your amplifier, which could be under the high current filter area, you plug in an amplifier, but now you have digital products, which is also going to cause noise. They're going to pollute each other. So what we need to do is sort of isolate them from one another.
So this
And each of
separates
these-
those areas.
You got it. So what Monster does, different from a lot of the other power products that are out there, which by the way are fantastic. I think everybody builds really good products, and there's enough there's enough really cool products being built for everybody. But I think what distinguishes ours from other companies is that we go above and beyond to try and isolate and filter out not only what comes out of the wall, but also from the other products that you're using inside your rig or in your studio.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, Monster has the reputation, I might add, of being the best. Every studio of national renown or worldwide renown, every musician, every company that really cares about their power is using Monster power.
Absolutely.
Not that the others there's
No, I
as you
actually
said,
own 3 products made by other other
there are
companies.
competitors, but Monster is known to be the best. If you have a home theater system, you should have Monster conditioners and Monster cable. And I don't sell home theater systems, but I'm just saying, and when you spend the money on those high-end components, you want that sort of thing.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not. We haven't even had this discussion yet, but 80% of all the Grammy-winning artists use Monster products.
That's
and the other
everyone
thing
I know does.
And one of the easy responses to come up with is, well, they get the stuff for free, or maybe they do advertising. The fact is that Monster has never really done any outside advertising. We don't put ads in magazines.
Right.
We don't do television advertising.
Just the name
we're
on
grateful
the
enough to have, like, I am grateful enough to represent my company with you on this show, because we really don't do any other outside promotion. They pay people like me to go talk to people like you and really educate more than
It's more educational than it is
absolutely,
promotional,
because
certainly.
we would rather spend our money on developing higher quality products than putting ads in newspapers or magazines, because not everybody is going to open up a Guitar Player magazine or Mix magazine and say, you know what, Monster's got a power product that costs X amount of dollars. I need to go check it out. People really are hip to guitars and amplifiers, and then once they see the benefit from a sonic perspective as well as a protection angle, it's almost a no-brainer that we have to have these kinds of products.
Well, the protection thing is important. The noise issue in our end of the industry, in the music and sound industry, is important. Now, this little device that you have right here, that's merely a sniffer. It sniffs out noise.
We call it the noise sniffer. This gives you a great audio representation of the noise that we were talking about earlier that comes out of the wall.
You can buy these at Radio Shack or something if somebody wants
absolutely.
to know how bad their power is.
Yeah.
So if you plug that in, what we did was, this is on purpose, we just have a common extension cord. It says property of Comcast right on it here.
I'll make sure to leave that here.
Yeah, please. This is theirs. And so and this just goes into this circuit on the wall.
I'll show you how it is. We'll plug it in and we'll turn it on.
Hold that up to your mic.
I don't know if you can hear this. This is an audio example of the noise that's coming out of the wall. Imagine if when you go out to dinner in the evening and there's a lot of people speaking at the restaurant and you have to speak a little bit louder and over to speak over it. That's exactly what all of our products have to do once they fight over this noise. Well, with the Monster Clean product,
you plugged this into there. Same device, same everything, and we don't hear anything.
0. And
it reads 0.
That's right. So it's pretty.
That's pretty graphic example.
It is pretty powerful. This again just gives you an audio example of the kind of noise that is coming out of the wall. And basically what that means is your noise floor is raised, which means that now all of your products have got to work a little bit harder to communicate over or to do their job over that. And if you combine that with the lack of stabilization on the power level, you're getting not only a noise floor that's raised, but also a power wave that you're riding, so to speak, which in the long run will diminish the longevity of each of your products and change their performance along the way.
So you've separated the high current draw like a power amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
You separated the digital products. And then what are these two over here?
Well, we've got an analog filter, and it's basically this whole section is all analog products.
Okay.
So we're talking about analog preamps or anything that is analog and not digital. Each of these different areas are going to have its own sonic signature.
And they're segregated.
Absolutely.
They're separate. Okay.
Yeah. The digital filters are there because digital processing usually has a higher, more brittle sort of sonic signature. Analog has a little bit more of a lower one, and the high current is almost more of a broadband sort of overall noise. And so what we do is we actually filter. We have individual filters for these, plus we have one that is an overall filter straight out of the wall.
Some bigger stuff. Well, I kind of jumped the gun when we opened the show. we have some slides. If we could look at
Sure,
that,
absolutely.
that shows the family of Monster products.
Okay.
And you can talk about them if you
Okay.
will.
If you go on to the next slide, you'll see the family of products. And if you look on the top, on your screen, it'll be the top left-hand side.
That big guy,
That's
yeah.
the big one. That one's the AVS 2000.
That would be in a studio.
That's primarily a studio
Or
use
someone
product.
with a serious home studio or a
Absolutely.
serious home theater.
Home theater. We actually have home theater versions of them.
Because
We
they
have a
have
few
lots
different
of
versions.
stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be amazed.
Yeah.
Multiple amplifiers. Now this is actually a letter from Pacific Gas and Electric, which is our power company, which even states that their goal is to get us somewhere between 114 and 126
Which they're doing.
volts.
We're at
Which
117. That's good.
they're
Yep,
doing. But it is never really consistent because, as you know, our cities and our towns are separated with either residential areas or industrial areas, and then they flow the power to these different areas at different times at different rates. So when they're expecting more people to
Sure, there's
exactly.
more demand
Summer
or less
months,
demand,
we're expecting more AC usage, and so on.
Well, a graphic
and so forth.
example would be a brownout.
You got it, which is below 80 volts, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. If you click on, you'll although the language will come up here, and basically this product here, this is the AVS 2000. Its job is to give us straight 120, and what it does is it sort of monitors the voltage, and it pumps out a straight 120. And in the middle, you will see how much it has to correct in order to give us that
It
120.
tells you what it's doing as far as a correction.
You got
So
it.
no matter whether the voltage input is low or high, it'll bring it down to the 120.
Yes. In fact, this product
Or up.
is about 80 pounds. It's not playing around.
No, this needs to be in your
rack,
stable. Rack or
This is
behind
great.
something in your home theater.
Yeah, especially for those people who have like even a home studio or a project studio or even the large studios. The great thing about this product is it'll always give you a stable power floor, and it'll do it for a long, long time because the way it's designed, it has a big transformer like a Variac that's electronically controlled, and no matter what you give it, as long as it's between 80 and 140, it'll give you straight 120.
Very seldom does PG&E ever err past those numbers. If above 140 would be like a lightning strike.
That's right.
Somewhere on a power pole or a transformer or in the area, and below 80 would be a brownout.
Yeah, I actually have one of these products at home, and over the winter we had a storm, and everything went out in the home while we were watching a movie, and what happened was my whole AV system gently shut down, and then when it was safe to turn back on, it automatically turned itself back on.
We'll talk about that soft shutdown issue.
Okay, we have a proprietary technology called the T2 circuitry, which, if you remember the movie Terminator 2, what is the famous line? He says, "I'll be back."
I'll be back.
Well, that's exactly what this technology does. It recognizes when the voltage is above 140 or below 80 where it's unsafe, and then it says, okay, I need to shut off now.
Right.
And then when it's safe, it comes back.
Cool.
And that is our first line of defense, and you'll find that on the top level of our products. We've put together a whole wide range of products to accommodate every scenario and price point. This is a perfect example. The top 3 units there actually have that T2 circuitry. So the Pro 7000, the Pro 5100, and the Pro 3500, as well as the absolute top piece, which is in sort of a different category because that's for voltage stabilization, and these are more for power regulation and for cleaning,
filtering,
and filtering and such. So the top 3 products there, those have stage 3 or stage 4 or stage 5 of clean power filtering, plus it also has the T2 circuitry. And on top of that, it has tri-mode protection, which means that it'll protect from a spike on the positive, the negative, or the ground, which is great.
Because there are 3 legs, and everybody can see that on a plug. There's the three specific little guys that are, the ground and the positive and the negative, and or neutral, whatever we want to call it, positive and then neutral. And you can have an issue on any one of those.
That's right.
Not as likely in the ground, but it is extremely likely on the other 2.
It is improbable, but it is possible.
Right.
And
and
especially
your bigger units will protect on all 3.
Absolutely. And the 2500, the 2000, anything below The 2500, including this one, will be dual mode, which means the positive and negative, but not the ground.
Right, right.
And of course, obviously, we dropped the price point as well. And these are affordable for every musician or home.
Yeah, they're not expensive, especially in view of what the protection is.
Of course.
You know, it's really a no-brainer.
Yeah.
When you look at the level of protection, when you look at the cost of the equipment that we're protecting.
Yes.
You know, you wouldn't buy a new Ferrari and put, old bald tires on it. And that's
Certainly
kind of
not.
what you're doing if you buy a new home studio or a home theater or a nice guitar amplifier or a good keyboard or a computer system and plug it into the wall. Those are bald tires. We just heard them.
Yeah. In fact, this is a great blown up picture of this. It has a 10-foot long power cord. If you, Gary, if you wouldn't mind unplugging that, I really want to show off this particular feature, which is great for the gigging musician. The great thing is not only is it made of airplane grade aluminum, but also has these hard rubber ends which are curved in almost a C shape. So the great thing about it is you can take this product and wrap this 10-foot power cord around itself.
And that's a big power cord.
And plug it right into itself in the back, and this will easily fit into your gig bag.
Sure.
Pretty quickly and pretty easily.
Right.
So, and for most of us who gig regularly, we have 5 or 6 minutes to get off stage, or on stage for that matter.
Right, you have to jump on.
And it's important to be able to quickly do setup and tear down, and this makes it certainly easier to do so.
Absolutely.
And in fact, this particular unit I dropped probably 10 times an hour at a trade show, 4 days straight, and it's still in great shape. So, and we also have a five-year warranty on any of our metal products and a lifetime warranty on any of the plastic products. So, like the Pro 200 or the Pro 800, which are more of the entry-level pieces, they have a lifetime warranty on
So
them
if
as
it
well.
breaks for any reason, no fault warranty. If I tow my truck home from the
Monster
gig.
has never really left any of its clients or any of its
Right. They're famous for that.
customers
They're famous for taking care of the professionals and homeowners alike.
That's right.
Well, for a guitar amplifier,
Okay.
the high-end ones are tube amplifiers. Now we have to have the voltage. First of all, we have to start with a beefy cable.
Yes.
Okay, and frankly, even the best amplifiers don't come with what I consider to be a beefy enough cable. So we can get a monster cable that will plug in. Same thing, it like in a computer, goes in the back, goes out here, has enough capacity to fully power the unit. But then protect it with this, and we're going to get what we paid for, basically.
Yeah, which is a great thing, I think, in this day and age, or actually in any. If you're going to spend any money on any product, you want to maximize what you're paying for. You want to maximize every bit of performance and longevity, because I don't know about you, but I like to spend my money wisely. And if I'm going to drop the kind of money that it takes to get really good high quality gear, I want to make sure it lasts.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
one of the ways you can do it is by getting good high quality connections.
Right.
And at Monster we like to think that you have to connect it, you have to protect it so that you can perform with it.
That's right. And the perform with it part is important. It's one thing if it's a non-critical piece and all you have to do is just go get another one. But if you're on stage, if you're in your studio, if you have a bunch of musicians that are on the clock and we're rolling, we really don't want any downtime.
That's right. We certainly
And so
don't.
that becomes an incredible cost
Yeah.
for anybody that's doing a project, whether it's at home or in a studio. And not to mention the inconvenience. I mean, with the cost of fuel today, we don't want to have to go somewhere, even if it's a free replacement warranty. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to go somewhere and say, this broke, give me another one.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So bottom line is that it's all about the value, the
Absolutely.
whole package. And I think it's a great thing to be able to protect the power. Well, did we have any more of those slides that we need to look at? We only have a few minutes left.
Well, there is one I would like to show. It's that one, perfect. The great thing about this one, I really like this. So this is a brand new piece for us, and it seems simple and innocuous enough. It's basically fits over a single gang box. This is great for your single point of entry for everybody from a home enthusiast to someone who travels with maybe a small combo amplifier. And the great thing about this product, 2 color-coded outlets. It's got stage 1 of clean power, because that's pretty much all you need on a small product like this. It's got dual mode protection. It has an audible alarm, so it'll tell you, hey, I had to take one for the team if it blew up, so that you actually know what's going on. And it does have a lifetime warranty on it. This I've actually put in a handful of studios where we line the walls. Every outlet has one, so that wherever someone wants to plug in just to rehearse or whatever, we have one of those available. I actually have one in my home because I have a combo amp at home. It's a really great product, and it's an entry-level price point, and it's a really high quality unit that is designed for the single point of entry.
So
really,
it plugs right into the wall socket.
yeah, and it actually comes with its own screw for the center, so it'll actually become part of the wall, so it won't pull out when you unplug. It's a great power product, especially for the single point of entry. So
Right. So
and here's a family shot of all of our sort of floor level units.
From this guy down?
Yeah. The 2000 is the Big Daddy. It's a really cool one. 12 outlets, stage 2 of clean power. The Pro 1000, which is really cool, a little bit less bells and whistles. It only has 8 power plugs, and it has no RJ45s or the F-pin connectors, and it doesn't have some of the LED readouts, but it's the same high quality stage 2 clean power, 5-year warranty on it. A little bit smaller of a piece, so great for someone who's gigging all the time and wants to have clean power with them all the time. The Pro 800, the next step down, lifetime warranty, great entry-level piece, hard plastic. You can really throw this thing around and it'll survive gigging. Stage 1 of clean power. It's a great power product. It does come with a good power cord as well. But again, my favorite right now is the Pro 200 because of its ease of use. It's clean.
We can take that anywhere.
Absolutely.
That can go in your computer bag.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a hotel and you need to just plug your computer into some clean power.
You got it. Or if you're one of those purists who just wants a little, combo amp and your guitar, you don't have to carry on any more gear. You can simply slide this in the back.
Although
with the rest
I think
of your
I'd
gear.
like this baby.
I'm with you.
If I had my choice. Well, we're about out of time, Kaz.
Well, I appreciate you having me out here, Gary. It means a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming, and for everybody that out there in the audience that hasn't heard of Monster Cable, you can go to monster.com.
Monstercable.com.
Monstercable.com, right. We don't want to go to Monster. Okay, monstercable.com. And we probably could put a link on guitarshowcase.com as well.
I think so.
That probably wouldn't bother you too bad.
I think so.
And they can find out more about the products.
Absolutely. We have so much literature on monstercable.com, everything from how to hook up your home theater system to what products you should get for what system. It's a great resource.
We appreciate you coming by, and thanks for watching Making Music.
Thanks a lot, Gary. I appreciate it.
This is a great product.